Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
Sometimes, our greatest challenges become our most powerful opportunities for transformation. Join us as we explore elevating outcomes. Empowering Opportunity with Dr. Elizabeth Oykan. Dr. Oykan describes a pivotal wilderness period in her life when she stepped away from executive leadership to care for her parents. This experience revolutionized her approach to healthcare, providing her with a renewed sense of purpose. Innovation is actually ideas coupled with execution. Her ability to execute innovative ideas has set her apart in the healthcare industry, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth and improvement. As Vice President of Stanford Healthcare, Dr. Oykan developed the groundbreaking V4 strategy, Saving Millions. She shares insights into the 10 elements of sustainable leadership and how combining health equity with innovation is transforming patient care. My mission is to make people's lives better through leadership, through education, and through community. Experience the power of purpose-driven leadership by streaming her story on the Follow the Brand podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more.
I now want us to focus on value as we move forward. Focusing on the value equation, which is quality times patient experience over the cost of delivering that care. And when we put that into perspective, that V4 becomes a key principle for operationalizing excellence moving forward. It also gives a growth mindset, and it helps people become very focused and targeted in what they do.
Welcome, everyone, to the Follow the Brand podcast. This is your host, Grant McGaugh, and I'm going to take it all the way out to the West Coast. I have not been there in a while, but I've been talking to Dr. Elizabeth Oykan over the last month or two, or maybe three, matter of fact. And we have a mutual friend, that's Denzel Ross. And she was talking to Denzel, and Denzel brought up my name. She said, I'm going to look him up. I'm going to look up Grant McGaugh. I like what he does, and I want to have a conversation with him and see how we can work together. So I want to bring her to the stage because I love me some Dr. Oyekin. She is wonderful. She has a great story. We're going to share some of that story with you today. And I encourage you to really get involved. Think about some of these things that she's talking about, and let's have a great conversation. So, Dr. Oyekin, you'd like to introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, Grant. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be here with you today. I am Dr. Elizabeth Oyekan, and I am the current Vice President of Imaging and Pharmacy Services for the Stanford Healthcare and Stanford Healthcare Tri-Valley. It's a privilege to be here and to engage with you today on the topic of just healthcare overall and leadership as well.
Well, we want to talk about you as well, because your story I found very intriguing. And that everyone has a pivotal moment. If you really think back in time, you've had defining moments in your life that put you in the trajectory that you're in now. Maybe over the last 5 years, you've been working in a certain role, or you had certain responsibility that started some time ago. We got to talking, you were talking about at Kaiser Permanente, how that kind of catapulted you in a whole other direction for where you were at that time in life. Talk to us just a little bit about your journey.
All right. So I really have had the privilege when I was at Kaiser Permanente to have very strong mentors, sponsors, and coaches that really helped me. Even though I started out in pharmacy, I very quickly pivoted to taking on a lot more responsibilities. And my last responsibility there was being the regional vice president of operations and of quality for the region of Colorado. And then in about 2016, I had to go through a transformation in my career where I had to step down from operations into a whole new world of consulting in order to give me the flexibility I needed, as well as the time I needed in order to become a caregiver for my parents. And I actually call this time a wilderness period in my life, because I witnessed firsthand the challenges, as well as really the wonderfulness of old age, as well as also seeing the great empathy and care that people gave in the healthcare system. And what it did is it just further deepened and reshaped my perspective around healthcare leadership, around healthcare in general. The other thing that it did during that period that I had to take care of my parents is that it gave me a whole new perspective on the power of empathy, the power of true patient-centered care, and really the opportunities to engage in my community. So after about 5 years of being in the consulting world and being a caregiver, my incredibly wonderful sister in England decided to take over the care of my parents. And what that did is it gave me the opportunity again to rethink of what I wanted to do in healthcare. And what I said was, regardless of what I did in healthcare, whether I stayed in the consulting world, whether I went into back into operations, one of the things that I gained was a new and a renewed sense of purpose. And so today I can tell you that what my professional mission is and what I aspire to continuously do every single day is to make the lives of people better through leadership, through education, and through community. And that's what I hope I am now able to give every single day in the work that I do. And that really stemmed from that wilderness period in my career journey.
I'm so glad you talked through that. Sometimes we feel vulnerable. We don't really put those things out there, but realizing that some of the challenges we go through in life are actually the catapult to get you to a different level or a higher level in what you're doing. One of the things that you shared with me on your track for leadership was because of your consulting background, because you went through this wilderness period, when you got back into leadership at a healthcare organization, you had a different brand. They saw you differently. You had a wider outlook. Talk to us a little bit about that.
All right. So before I went into the consulting world, I was definitely in operations, and I had been in operations from starting in pharmacy all the way to overseeing the operations for a total health system in the Colorado region, as well as quality. When I went into my wilderness period and I went into the consulting world, now looking back, I realize it's probably one of the best things that ever happened. And why do I say that? In the consulting world, what I learned was the whole idea of strategy at a 30,000 foot level. You know, I knew strategy, boots on the ground, in health systems, in operations, but strategy at a global level, working with health plans, working with manufacturers was a whole different ball game. And so overseeing all those departments that I've seen, as well as now having that global perspective of healthcare trends, what that has been able to do for me are the following things. First of all, it's allowed me to integrate different disciplines because I have an understanding of like the core needs of the disciplines. And it's also allowed me to bridge strategy and execution. So having a vision and also being able to execute it on global scales as well as departmental, at a departmental level, I've been able to do. The other thing that has also occurred in bringing the consulting arm and bringing the operation arm together is really driving innovation and systemness in an organization. And very, very importantly, it's really allowed me to understand the critical importance of having relationships, of collaborating, and not just collaborating within departments, that is very important, but collaborating across the organization, but outside of the organization. So in consulting, when we are collaborating, we're bringing in providers, we're bringing in pharma, we're bringing in politicians, we're bringing in a number of stakeholders in the healthcare space. So that's what also this allowed me to do. One of the most important things, though, that I will say that I have gained looking at this global perspective is really understanding the importance of health equity and how health equity really, it's a thread that is woven through every discipline in healthcare in order for us to achieve what I call the aspirational vision of healthcare that we have in this country. And that's what I call the quintuple aim. It's us looking to see how do we improve care, improve access, improve patient outcomes, improving the cost of care, but also improving the interactivity of our providers and our staff in order to bring equity to everyone. So that is really what having this global perspective of operations and consulting, that's what it was able to do. And so when I was being interviewed for the role that I currently have, when I asked, what were the core things that had them choose me over 30 plus candidates, and they said that the ability that you were able to bring bringing in operation ability to execute and bringing in global strategy and vision was something that was unique that they had not really seen. So that is what, even though looking back, when I had to switch from operations to consulting, I said, oh my gosh, this is a whole different game. It was very challenging, but now looking back, I could not have had a better period in my life to continue to grow professionally.
I'm Dr. Kimberly Long. I am the current Chief Executive Officer for the Association of California Nurse Leaders and a nurse of 37 years. Once I got into nursing, I found that that love for people could be translated to providing an optimal patient care experience with compassion, recognizing that people don't go in the hospital because they want to spend a weekend in hospital land. They go there because something catastrophic has happened to them. When I go into an organization, the first thing that I do, whether it's as a CNO or a CEO, is sit in the lobby before they know who I am and observe. Because I want to see what that organization is really about. How do people engage with one another? Do they talk to each other? Do they
developed a strong passion for healthcare finance and really finding ways for organizations to thrive financially and putting their mission first, but acknowledging that without margin, there is no mission. The value I gain from the multidiscipline professionals that are going to be included, the value that I gain from the cohort I'd be a part of, and all the learning, the diversity of thought that's going to be at the table, and the opportunity to stretch yourself in the pursuit of better knowledge that's going to propel your career.
Well, we're glad that that happened. Even though at the time you're like, it's kind of, it's easy to look back sometimes, and sometimes it's hard to look forward, especially if you're going through a challenge and you can't see, the positivity always in certain situations. But this is the path of growth, and we have choices, right? We can either keep going forward, we can fall back, or we can just stay in that status quo. You took on the challenge because of your values. You helped your parents. I thought that was wonderful. Put you on a different track, got into consulting, and then when you came back to the healthcare leadership, you were ready. You were ready. You were probably much further along than you would have been if you had taken a different route. Now, most people don't know. I'm going to bring out one of your secrets. You're an author. You have written several books on leadership. I want to first know what was your passion about writing the books? What propelled you? Like, I need to get this out. And then tell us about what the book is about and who you're looking to impact.
Thank you, Grant. So I have had the privilege of writing a number of books, some in the area of health equity in collaboration with team members, some in the area of pharmacy and care delivery models. But the one I would say that I am most proud of is the one that I wrote around leadership. And let me give you a little bit of background as to why I even finally wrote that book. As I said earlier on, by background, I am a pharmacist. And when I became the regional vice president for operations and quality, also the first African-American female to hold that type of a position, people kept asking me, Elizabeth, what's your secret to success when it comes to leadership? Because it appears that no matter what department, so whether you're in primary care or surgical services, whether you're in pharmacy or radiology, no matter where you are, you seem to be able to be successful in leading your teams. And so people asked me, what is my secret to success? And I said, you know what, I don't know if I have a secret. But what I started to do, I started to really think, what are those components about leadership that have become core to how I lead? And believe it or not, what I realized was that the term leadership is not just a noun. It's not just a verb. It's actually an acronym. It's an acronym to how I lead on a consistent basis. It's an acronym that allows me to check in to say, am I leading in the way that will make wherever I am better for me being a part of that department or a part of that entity than it was before I came? And so just very, very high level, what are those 10 elements of leadership? So as I said, leadership to me is an acronym. And what's that acronym? First and foremost, L, lead by example. I lead by example and I lead with a core purpose. As I mentioned earlier on, I have a mission. My mission is to make people's lives better. And so leading with a purpose, leading with passion is the first thing. The next is E, engagement. Really engage others. Really understand, listen to people. What is it that what are the opportunities in order for us to see things in alignment? So really engage, really effectively communicate. A is accountability. I tell people the buck stops with me. If I'm given the responsibility, even if somebody else messes up, I am still responsible. The buck stops with me. I do my absolute best never to make excuses for what I do. D is development. I am a continuous and a consistent learner, always learning, always looking to grow. And so D is really develop oneself. And as a leader, it's not just about you being developed, it's how do you develop your teams? So really focusing on development. E, the next E is execution. I tell people we can have tons of ideas, but you know what innovation really is? Innovation is actually ideas coupled with execution. And when you're able to execute, it really sets you apart from people that just have ideas. R is about recognizing and acknowledging others. I always look to catch people doing the right thing. You know, a lot of times you hear people always criticizing, I see you doing this wrong, I see you doing that wrong. I always say, recognize people for doing the right thing, and always let them know, hey, that was a great thing that you did. S is for solidifying relationships. Really, relationships is the glue that holds everything that we do together. So really solidify those relationships. H is about health, not just physical health, mental health, social health, spiritual health. I really focus on trying to make that core to who I am. I is interdependence. A lot of times people become very good at the silo that they're in. What I tell people is if you want to gain new knowledge, new ideas, really focus on interdependence across the different verticals and the different silos. Last but not least is P. I tell people, make leadership personal, whether it's work-life balance, whether it's work-life integration, make leadership personal to you, because when it's personal to you, you will be authentic in what you do, and that will allow you to lead in a very sustainable manner. So I share that framework with people to let people know that I check in literally every month. I check in myself and I say, how am I doing on these 10 elements of leadership? And where am I doing well? Where do I need to maybe do a little bit of a lift? And just to let you know, for example, in January, I'm realizing now that, hey, I haven't been doing the physical exercise as much as I need to. And so I am out there. Yesterday, I went after church, I went and I played squash, you know, in order to get that health up. But without this active focus on those 10 elements, sometimes it's very easy to focus on some and not on the others. So that is overall my insights, and that is really my philosophy of leadership.
Welcome to Follow the Brand, where we turn leaders into legends. I'm Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM. Today, we're not just talking about executive presence, we're going to transform yours. Executive presence isn't about power, it's about trust. And here's the good news. You can build it at any level. Let's dive into how you can command any room you enter. Dr. Kimberly Long, CEO of California Nurse Leaders, shared a profound insight. The moment you try to prove your power is the moment you lose it. Executive presence is about building trust and authority without force. It's about creating an environment where people lean in to listen. You can achieve this by being authentic and consistent in your communication and actions. Consider Dr. Long during a hospital merger. She lowered her voice instead of raising it, and the room leaned in. Similarly, Sarah Chen, a project manager, used this technique in meetings. Within 3 months, her team began to emulate her style. Denzel Ross, now president of IU Health South Central, built his presence by identifying communication gaps and lifting others up. These examples show how presence spreads through subtle yet powerful actions. Your action step. In your next 3 meetings, try speaking 10% slower and 20% quieter. Watch what happens. For team leads, start delegating key responsibilities. Managers should use meetings as learning labs. Directors build cross-functional bridges. The key shift? Stop being the answer person. Start being the question person. This approach fosters growth and empowers others. Patrick Green, CEO of UF Health Jacksonville, uses a communication matrix to simplify complex ideas. His three-step formula: start with impact, follow with insight, end with action. For example, instead of saying, "We need to upgrade our systems," he says, "We can save 50 lives this year by investing in this technology. Here's how." This clarity builds influence and trust. 3 common mistakes: reactivity, over-explaining, and imposter syndrome. When challenged, take a slow sip of water to respond thoughtfully. Instead of defending every detail, offer a headline first. Dr. Long still gets nervous before board meetings but prepares thoroughly. Remember, nervousness is energy. Executive presence isn't a destination, it's a practice. Start where you are, use what you have, and build from there.
When you deliver on on your promise, and you have the result you were looking for, and everybody in the room is like, "Wow, this is what we're talking about."
Welcome to Lead with Impact, Vision to Victory, a transformative 1.5-day workshop crafted for healthcare and STEM professionals. Elevate your leadership potential with real-world strategies. This groundbreaking event offers an immersive experience, equipping you with the tools to advance your career and influence. It's designed to empower you to lead with confidence and clarity. Guided by industry leaders like Grant McGaugh, Andrea Clark, and Latasha Barnes, you'll gain insights from those who have mastered the art of impactful leadership. Engage in live simulations that place you in the C-suite. Tackle high-stakes challenges and make strategic decisions under pressure, honing your executive skills in real time. Explore sessions focused on fostering creativity, strategic innovation, and executive presence. This workshop is not just about learning, it's about doing and applying. Participants rave about the experience. This workshop gave me the confidence and tools to step into my dream role, build lasting connections with industry leaders and peers who share your ambition and drive for excellence. 87% of professionals report career advancements after similar workshops. Your investment in yourself will yield meaningful change in your organization. Join us March 22nd and 23rd at Miami-Dade College. Reserve your seat today and start leading with impact.
I love that. That was so, you put that together so succinctly. I don't think I said that right. Succinctly. Because what you just said, leadership as an acronym, if you drop any one of those letters, it doesn't spell it correctly. It's not pronounced correctly. So you've got to use all of them.
That's great. I like that. Yeah.
Now, one of the things, we worked together and we came up with a tagline, and I love it. EO, Elizabeth Oyekin, Dr. EO, elevating outcomes, empowering opportunity. And I believe that it aligns with your brand around health equity and being an advocate, and especially in your role as a healthcare administrator, understanding what you mean to the community. Talk to us a little bit more about your core principles and what drives you as a leader.
There are lots of principles. There are a number of principles I have, but let me just share a couple of principles that I have championed over time, and that is health equity and innovation. And I see these two elements as really significant components to the future of healthcare. When you think of health equity, what I think of are social drivers of health. When I think of innovation, I think of precision medicine, I think of digital, I think of AI, I think of technology. And I feel like when we bring health equity and social determinants and social drivers of health, and you bring it into the focus of innovation, what we can do in healthcare then is we can really close gaps care gaps of patients, we can improve access to care, and we can personalize people's treatments. So I see innovation and health equity really as two sides of the same coin. That's the way I look at it, because innovation brings and it amplifies the impact of care. And what equity does is it makes sure that no one is left behind. So one brings that impact, and it amplifies the impact of care. The other makes sure that everyone, no matter who you are, no matter what zip code you live in, you get access to that. And so when you bring health equity and when you bring innovation together, what we see happening is it goes to now 4. We have better outcomes. We have greater value in our healthcare ecosystem. And most of all, we have healthier communities. And with healthier communities, we make a difference in everybody's lives. So those are just components that I would say I have championed to help make a difference.
Now I'm curious now. I don't know if that's part of your V4 principles or something outside of that. I do know that you're in the imaging world, the pharmacy world. It gives you another unique perspectives. How do you, when you're sitting at the table, you're in the C-suite conversations, how does your unique perspectives bring value to all the different peer groups and organizational structures, boards, and that type of thing to bear?
I would say because I have had, if you think about it, I have not just had pharmacy and imaging, that is what I have now. But in the past, I have had pharmacy and imaging. I've had surgical services and primary care. I've had medical specialty and nursing. So when I look at what I have had, when I come to the boardroom, I come with a more global perspective of the healthcare system. And that is something that people tend to respect and tend to know that I am bringing to the table a focus on the global perspectives of healthcare. I think the other thing is, because I have also had that perspective, I am able to look at how do we transform care delivery? How do we have operational excellence? But at the same time, how do we maintain financial sustainability? And one of the things that I have been able to do as I have worked in the different service lines and in the different departments is I've created strategies that I bring to the table as well. So you mentioned V4 as an example. I will give you a little bit about V4. It actually started out as V3. And what is this V3? V3 started out as variation, venue, and vendor management. When I was the regional vice president, one of the challenges we had some major challenges that brought significant financial loss. And so with that financial loss came, what do we do? And of course, in a lot of organizations, when there's significant financial loss, the first thing people do is they cut staffing. And while we had to do some labor management, what I said is that we needed to make our cost sustainability and our financial sustainability more holistic. And because of understanding the various departments, I was able to say, you know what? There's a lot of variation in how we do things, in how we deliver care, in our processes, and all of that. And how can we reduce that variation? Because one of the things you'll find in the literature is that when you reduce care, when you reduce variation in care, when you reduce unwanted variation in care, the first thing that you will see is that improves quality and it reduces cost at the same time. The next V is venue. So the question really became, how are we having patients having procedures in the inpatient that really should be in the ambulatory setting? So we started looking at how can we optimize where patients get their care, both for the patient's perspective and patient cost, but also the organizational cost. And then the third thing, which saved us probably the most money, was vendor management, looking to see how many vendors do we have? What's our contracting all about, and all of that. And so when we did that, just to let you know, in the first year, from the V3 perspective, we saved over $14 million. Now I've taken it one step further in my current role. My current role, I am now having it as V4, because what I've now added is value. What I now want people to think about, regardless of what department, what service line people are in, I want people to realize that whatever we come up with moving forward, in addition to reducing unwanted variation, in addition to optimizing the venues for patients and organization, and in addition to the vendor management, I now want us to focus on value as we move forward. Focusing on the value equation, which is quality times patient experience over the cost of delivering that care. And when we put that into perspective, that V4 becomes a key principle for operationalizing excellence moving forward. It also gives a growth mindset, and it helps people become very focused and targeted in what they do.
Are you feeling stuck? Yearning for growth but unsure how to take the next step? You're not alone. 63% of professionals feel unprepared for executive roles. The skills you need aren't out of reach. They're within your grasp. Imagine transforming from being overwhelmed at your desk to confidently presenting to a captivated audience. Leadership isn't just about titles. It's about taking control, bridging gaps, and narrating your own story. Andrea Clark emphasizes this at the workshop. Grant McGaugh adds, "Your brand is your legacy." This is your chance to shape it, refine it, and own it. Latasha Barnes shares, "Mastering financial acumen isn't just a skill, it's the language of leadership, and I'll show you how to speak it fluently." Engage in real-world boardroom simulations, financial strategy sessions, and interactive team challenges. Step into a world of immersive learning. Engage with industry leaders and gain hands-on experience through high-level boardroom simulations. Refine your executive presence in settings designed to elevate your confidence and your career. Enjoy an exclusive wine tasting and food pairing event, all while collaborating with fellow attendees. Limited to 40 participants. Get your seat today. This isn't just a workshop. This is your breakthrough, your transformation. Picture yourself delivering a confident presentation, the room erupting in applause. Feel the satisfaction as you shake hands with a mentor. March 22nd and 23rd at Miami-Dade College. 2 days that will redefine your future. Are you ready to lead with impact? Register now at 5starbdm.com. Leadership isn't given, it's earned. Take the first step. Lead with impact.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaugh, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-Star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaugh explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
I am so glad that you gave that perspective, because now I see you more. Sometimes you read a title like, all right, she knows a lot about pharmacy, knows about a lot about imaging. And as you just alluded to, that's just one of the things, and that's what your current role is. But you're much more, you are holistic in who you are as Dr. Elizabeth Oyekan. You look at the wholeness of what you bring to the table. And I love what your philosophies are and what your go-to strategy is. You've gotten a great track record when it comes to finances, financial turnarounds. You've done a lot of that. You've got great metrics. You've got great employee engagement. These are facts that are quantifiable, and what you shared with me and what I was able to just to discern on my own. It's been wonderful working with you. And I am so glad that you have joined us on the Follow the Brand podcast. And there's one more question I'd like to ask you, because I think this is important. You also have a daughter that's over in the UK. She's into her career now, and then she's doing her thing. You're at your point in time in your career. If you had to give her any advice, if you had to, you know what, here's something that maybe you want to look at, that when I was your age, I wasn't really focused on, what would you say to her?
So let me tell you one of the first things I said to her after I met you. I said, Doyen, and just so that you know, I'm privileged to be married to a wonderful guy, Richard, for over 30 years. We have 3 kids, and my daughter, Doyen, is a physician in the UK and is now planning on going into law. And so she has been I'm very fortunate. She has been asking, Mom, what should I do? And one of the things I said to her, I said, first and foremost, I actually think I want you to meet Grant. And I want you to meet him. And please, this is not to promote you in any shape or form. I said to her, I want you to meet him because what he will help you do is he will take a look at what it is that you're doing overall and give you a perspective and just pull out all those things that are in there already. They're already there. It's not as if he's going to come up with some magic for you, but he will help you understand how to position yourself, how to brand yourself, and how to really focus on your strengths. So that's one of the things that I actually said to her. One of the things that I say in general, and not just to her, but also to my sons and to all the emerging leaders that are out there, I always say right now, I say, you need to focus on having a growth mindset. You need to continuously grow. You need to continuously learn. You need to continuously say, what is it that I can do to make things better? The other thing that my kids will tell you, and even right now, I do new leaders orientation for the organization. And I share the leadership acronym because I tell them, as a leader, you want to help shape where you are. You want to make sure that where you are will be better off because you were there. And then the third thing that I say folks, because my kids are all in healthcare, and I tend to do with a lot of folks in healthcare. But even if you think about business, we're at a crossroads any which way we look at it. We're at a crossroads in healthcare, we're at a crossroads in business. And so one of the things I tell young emerging leaders is that this is a unique time in healthcare, in business, to make a difference. And I just say, guys, seize this opportunity with boldness, because there is no other time that I can think of than the present to really make a difference and to put your footprint on the whole landscape of healthcare and of business. So that's what I tell her. And that's what I tell emerging leaders. But I also tell that to seasoned leaders, including myself, so that I keep remembering that as I tell others this, that I also embody it as well on an ongoing and a continued basis.
Well said. Well stated. I can hear Dorian already over there just clapping like, oh, that's my mom. This is wonderful. This has been great. Love the interview with you. Thank you for taking the time to share your story with such grace. It's been wonderful. And before I let you go, they've got to know, how do they get in contact with you? You know, where is she at? How can I send her an email? How can I get a hold of one of her books? I'm sure people are asking that right now.
Well, I would say people can get a hold of me on LinkedIn. I do my best to respond to people on LinkedIn. So I will be privileged and honored to be in touch with anybody on LinkedIn. My books are on Amazon, but I don't mind having conversations with people to help bring what I say. It's one thing to read a book, it's another thing to bring it to life. So so people who listen to this podcast, if they want, for me to just have a brief conversation with them about it, I look forward to that as well.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I want to encourage your entire audience, your entire family, to tune in to all the episodes of Follow the Brand. That is at the number 5, that's star STAR B for brand, D for development, Infomasters.com. I want to thank you so much again for being on the show.
Thank you, Grant. It's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege working with you, and look forward to our ongoing collaborations. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Take care.
You too.
Man, who's your favorite podcaster? Man, Grant, man. I love Grant's podcast. Well, who's Grant? I'm going to send you the link. I love
the interview. I've done a lot of these, and this is a great one. It's always great to talk to people who know what they're doing. And it's clear you're a great host, and you've done this many times before.
I feel great that we're having this conversation here. Met a new person in business who I previously didn't know.
It was an amazing podcast. Grant is an amazing interviewer. I learned a lot.
I really enjoyed this. Great questions, great talk track. Super appreciate you having me on. It's been a very fun episode to talk about a lot of things that I don't always get to dive into. So this has been a fantastic conversation.
I wouldn't be where I am here today, of course, not on this stage. However, not in my current business projection and my current business model without working with you.
Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, is turning heads in the healthcare and information technology sectors with his groundbreaking approach to personal branding and business development. By challenging conventional strategies, he's setting a new standard for how executives present themselves and their businesses to the world. McGaugh's expertise isn't just about standing out. It's about strategic guidance, generating leads, and building networks that propel executives beyond their competition. His focus on authenticity allows leaders to leverage their unique stories, driving exponential growth and success in their industries. Beyond branding, McGaugh is a fervent advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. He's committed to helping organizations cultivate environments where innovation and collaboration thrive through inclusive cultures. And for those eager to dive deeper, McGaugh hosts the Follow the Brand podcast. Here, he unpacks the intricacies of personal branding and business growth, offering valuable insights for professionals eager to redefine their identities and share their narratives with the world. In today's competitive market, standing out is essential. 5-Star BDM, led by visionary Grant McGaugh, offers the key to unlocking your brand's true potential. With innovative strategies and a passion for empowering businesses, 5-Star BDM is transforming personal branding and business development, moving brands from merely competing to dominating. At 5-Star BDM, we revolutionize personal branding by crafting authentic identities that enhance visibility and influence. Our brave blueprint drives measurable results, ensuring a return on investment through tailored strategies. By integrating artificial intelligence and advanced methodologies, we provide your business with a competitive edge in the digital age. Grant McGaugh brings over 20 years of leadership experience with Fortune 500 companies. Named a top 10 global thought leader in personal branding, Grant's achievements include the 2024 Best Personal Brand Development Podcast for Follow the Brand. His philosophy, integrity doesn't have a price tag, is the foundation of 5-Star BDM. Partnering with 5-Star BDM means embarking on a transformative journey. We begin with discovery, analyzing your brand's DNA. Using the Brave Blueprint, we develop a strategy tailored to your goals. Our support continues through implementation, training, and ensuring long-term success with AI-driven insights and real-time adjustments. Our impact is evident. A healthcare tech firm experienced a 300% boost in brand recognition and 75% sales growth in 6 months. Entrepreneurs report increased customer retention and new revenue streams. Diverse companies like Black Business Expo, USA, and Akaba World Network have become industry leaders through our guidance. Join the movement and elevate your brand. Imagine a space where your questions about personal growth, leadership, and branding are met with real, actionable insights. A place where professionals share the secrets behind their success, leaving you inspired to elevate your journey. Welcome to Follow the Brand. Grant McGaugh, with decades of experience, believes success is never a solo journey. It's about the connections you make, the stories you tell, and the strategies you implement. Follow the Brand exists to bring you closer to those transformative moments. Each episode is packed with powerful takeaways. Learn how to build a personal brand that sets you apart. Discover secrets to staying ahead in ever-evolving industries. Hear lessons from executives who've walked the path you're on now, offering guidance and inspiration. Grant has this way of pulling out the story behind the story. You'll walk away feeling like you've just unlocked a roadmap to your next big breakthrough, ready to take on new challenges. This isn't just a podcast, it's a conversation, a resource, and a community. Whether you're scaling your career, leading a team, or transforming your business, Follow the Brand is here to guide you every step of the way. Join us, find your voice, and build your legacy.
Follow the Brand e-commerce store. Ready to elevate your career and increase your visibility? Take the 30-day personal branding challenge. Build a brand that represents your expertise. Explore our brand t-shirts, available in various sizes for $19.99. Join our 2-day summit. Equip yourself with executive-level skills. Shop now and transform your career journey.
Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you.